And let's move over to the international front. President Trump has backed off threats to send the military into Iran amid violent uprisings where reports say the Iranian regime could be responsible for tens of thousands of deaths. So how far can this uprising go? Joining us now is UChicago constitutional law scholar and legal analyst and Iranian native Pegah Banihashemi. Thank you so much for being with us. We appreciate you being able to talk to us. What is the latest you're hearing from the ground? As we know, there's been blackouts, internet blackouts. It's hard to get information. Have you heard anything?
Thank you so much for having me. As you mentioned that, unfortunately, we don't know very much exactly what's going on in Iran. As today is I think the 7 or 8 days that we don't know exactly what's going on inside Iran due to shut down the internet. So we have very rare information that we received from via some media sources that they can fact check it. And then we can see basically, of course, the protest and demonstration is a little bit gets less busy, I can say, and the other things that is still is very devastating. The number of the people that basically killed by the regime, and still is a very massive effect on each of us heart and mind. And I suppose today it was kind of the other day that basically regime of Iran has a speech in UN Council, and then also United States has this speech front of them as well. And I listened to that speech, and it was kind of heartbroken again how that man, the representative of the Islamic regime, basically sit there and talk about what was going on inside the Iran, which is in next part I can explain more, but or maybe now basically he believed that many people killed by the terrorists, by the agent of many other countries, foreign countries. And he said that today many families are really sad, and they are devastated by lost family members, and that's the true. But the problem is the person who represents the regime was killing the people in the streets. So it was a little bit weird moment for me.
So it's certainly hard to get accurate information, but we do know reports of potentially tens of thousands of folks either harmed or killed by the regime. President Trump is backing off his threats to send in the U.S. military, saying that the regime has promised to put a halt to some of this unrest right now. But do you believe that? Do you believe that that's actually going to happen?
No, I don't believe that, actually, unfortunately. I know judiciary very well. I know Iranian judiciary very well. And unfortunately, something that is really makes me so worried and have a big fear about the future is actually, I think, after we saw lots of blood on a street, we're going to see lots of execution in the future, unfortunately. I do believe that because Mr. Ejei, at the head of the judiciary in Iran, basically he asked to have very fast process for all protesters that they arrested in Iran, and even he asked to basically do it like a one-day criminal procedure due to them, and get the case done. And at the end, a few people came out with death penalty order, and we saw it before in regime of Iran. At that time, it wasn't like today. Many information came out, but in the 80s and 90s in Iran, we had a mass execution that has happened to many citizens or many political prisoners. These days, I'm really scared of this situation.
And when you think about the protesters in Iran, do they welcome the idea of U.S. intervention, or could that complicate the situation more?
Excuse me, you cut off for a second. Do they what?
I'm sorry. So do you think protesters welcome U.S. involvement, or could that complicate the situation more?
Let me be analyst here more than to get a side. I can say we have many people that they do believe that to have a foreign country do something or do support the people might be has a kind of like a disadvantage for the future, that maybe we Iranian people will lose the independence in the future. But unfortunately, due to the situation that we have these days in Iran, I can hear that many people do believe that we really cannot get rid of this regime. We cannot have the regime change unless somebody in a bigger hands come and help us. Still is a big discussion between the all opposition, between the all people regarding these matters. I can say even I can hear this argue between the families that is happening a lot. Many young generation exactly do believe that, for example, 47 years to have the dictatorship, is that enough? And we really need to do something because we don't have an arm, we don't have gun. So and then every time when something happened, IRIG coming out and killed a lots of people. And the people who doesn't kill and they just arrested, then they are going to be lying in execution. So therefore, they believe that might be the foreign helping country could be helpful for this situation. But I think maybe older generation, they are coming back and they are saying we don't have a very good experience regarding these matters in a past history, and whatever would be going to be happen, it should be going to happen inside the country. And again, the other question is, during the last 2 decades, basically, Ayatollah Khamenei doctrine, it was look like to make a week on each potential opposition leader that could be exist inside the country. So therefore these days, for example, we don't know where is the Narges Mohammadi right now. Narges Mohammadi, it was the last Nobel Peace Prize winner that she arrested 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago in Mashhad during the human rights lawyer funeral, and still we don't know where is she. And with her, like I can say, 50 other people arrested at that funeral, that they were kind of like a potential activists, advocates,
So that's
civil activists, that they all arrested, and we don't know even where they are.
that's a potential opposition regime. You wrote a column asking the question, how far can this uprising go? How far do you think it can go?
Right now, I think it's very difficult days, and I do believe that it's kind of we're going to have very difficult days in front of the all Iranian. I was in Iran in a previous movement when it happened, like green movements. After green movements didn't didn't go through the success process. The society goes to anger, goes to rage, and then goes to have depression for a while, because they do believe that whatever we did, it didn't affect, and the result is just we lost a life, we lost a people life. And it's a very sad. Let me, for example, bring you an example. In one of the case, we don't even have enough information yet, so I'm scared the day that I wake up and see the real videos released after the internet coming back. But just with a drop by drop information that we receive, for example, the parents with the children went to the demonstration and they are all killed by the regime. I mean, the whole family just killed a few days ago. So how this society can tolerance with this situation, how the society going to deal with this situation, that would be very difficult, I suppose.
That's going to be very difficult to sort out. Okay, Pegah Banihashemi from the University of Chicago, thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.